And I'm here with my dear friend, Manny Zamora. Hello, Manny.
Hello, Dennis.
We are here to talk about your baby, your creation, this wonderful series of comic books. There are many graphic novels to me that you
Hmm.
have created called La Salvadora.
Right.
And one of the things that I love about this is that you have created this superhero specifically to address a niche that you felt was not addressed when you and Janelle came up with it. Could you talk about the creation of La Salvadora, who she is, and what you are doing with her?
Sure. Well, the Salvadora came about. We were my late partner and I, Janelle. We were having a conversation about superheroes, and we had seen the Wonder Woman movie, and she has a a, a Hispanic child that she adopted,
Mhm.
uh, and she was complaining. The daughter was complaining that where were the Latino superheroes? You know, they were all, where's the Mexican Wonder Woman, or and so we thought, that's right. Plus, she has an interest in animals and things like that. So we thought, let's we're creative people. We write stories. We're artists. Let's create one of our own. Let's create a superhero that addresses those issues. And we decided that she, our hero, our heroine, was going to be a Hispanic female, that she was going to mainly deal with rescuing and saving animals. And so, in her civilian guise, she's a veterinarian that works at a private animal sanctuary, and she has been gifted with this ability to have this empathic contact with animals, and she can kind of control them up to a certain point.
She can get them as allies, right? She can
Right,
enlist them. She can enlist them to help her.
right, exactly. She enlists them to help her, sometimes to get out of a jam, sometimes just to, delay the villains or whatever. And as you saw on the cover, we were off to the races, and so I drew up some sketches, and we decided that, too many of the superhero women tend to be over sexualized sometimes,
Right.
to be very, exposed in their costuming, which I get it. This is supposed to
Oh yeah, sex sells.
sex sells,
Even to
and
even to teenagers.
right, yeah, and this is comic books are mainly for teenage boys and
Hmm.
and men as well. Uh,
But that's missing a market though.
and
And
it's missing the
that's what I
market.
love about the way you approach this, because this is where capitalism is that you find a market that needs a niche and you fill it.
And you fill it, exactly, yeah. So we decided she needed to have a presence and her own costume, but to be
Mm.
modest, because we were thinking, if little Latina girls, little Hispanic girls wanted to cosplay her, dress up for her in conventions, whatever, if she caught on, then their parents wouldn't object. You know, Daddy would not object to her being dressed like this,
No, no. Or
uh,
mommy. Yeah,
or
exactly.
mom, exactly. And it's a relatively easy costume to make. Uh, it's a blue shirt, and there's some decorations and
Yep.
stuff. And so yes, we had all that in mind as we were creating her. And of course, we wanted to bring in elements of the culture, of the Latino culture, and so we use a lot of greens and reds in her costume. Her symbol is actually a marigold, sort of abstract of a marigold, which
Mm.
is very significant in Aztec cultures, and just things like that. And of course, the mask, the Dia de los Muertos style mask, of course.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Now, one of the things that I loved about what you did with this character, because she gets her powers from a group of mystical, her mystical powers from a group of wolves.
Right.
Is that where it comes down to? I mean, where it entered her,
Yes. 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 Right. In the very first issue, she's just
which
out.
is issue 0. So I want people
Issue
to
zero.
understand this is issue number 1, issue 0, which happens to be on the website that we're going to put on this that you can read for free. So
Right.
you can see what it is and learn about that and get your child or get them to be able to see what this is all about, which is on the website. So that's issue 0, which gives you her origin story.
Yes. Issue zero is basically the pilot.
Absolutely, because
It's the pilot episode.
these are movies, and this is the neat part about it is that as your number 1 fan, of course, I wait at the Apple store, you know, the first day where you see people lined up outside. Well, that's the way I am, and I'm pinging you every hour. I'm going, tell me when it drops, tell me when it drops, because I want to be the first one on Amazon to get it and to be able to do it. But one of the things that I find fascinating about it, because when I was growing up, you know, during the Superman times and during that, everything was how do you change into a costume? How do you do this? How do you find this? And she has both her life as a veterinarian that she keeps and La Salvadora, which she keeps secret from others that are around her. But she changes into her costume mystically, that
Right.
it evolved. And I just thought that was a brilliant way of handling how you can deal in and out with it with this particular garb.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it was the it was a solution to a problem that, as you already explained, uh, that I didn't really want to address. Like, okay, how does she change into the costume? And I wanted to kind of allude to classic things like, in the Wonder Woman TV show, Linda Carter would just spin around and boom, there'd be a flash of light and she was in costume. No messy explanation.
Yep.
One of the reasons, and I know this is a little off topic, but one of the reasons that the transporter was created in Star Trek was to get the crew on and off the planet or into the air adventures quickly without having to land a ship and all that stuff. It's
Yep.
just, hey, we just have there's a little sparkle and boom, there they are.
There they
Uh,
are.
so I thought, well, we're dealing with mythology here. We're dealing with archetypes dating back
Right.
centuries, millennia that have been developed, in various cultures, and I wanted to tap into that. I wanted to tap into archetypal mythic roots of superhero stories,
Ah, wonderful. And it comes out of your culture too,
and it
right?
comes out of my
Because
culture as well.
this is your culture, and not only is it your culture, but as a child, you began drawing comics. I mean,
Oh yes,
you have this storied career as a graphic artist. You have all kinds of graphic art all around, and no, only are expanding it now. But you were able to begin this. I mean, you fell in love with comics. You fell in love with the Stan Lee and all the original ones all your life, right?
absolutely, absolutely correct. Yeah, I've been reading comics since I, you know, could pick up a book, and of course, the first thing you're attracted to is the pictures, the artwork, and through that, you start to learn to read and figure out what are all these little funny scribbles that they're saying, and you want to know, and so you learn to read, so you can read the bubbles and you can read the dialogue. It's not just the pictures, and so I know people like to dismiss comics as just being kid stuff and just for entertainment, whatever, but it is educational, by golly.
Exactly. And it also it pulls you into reading. So it pulls you
Also
into
into
what.
reading, exactly.
All right. So when you first began these, did was Amazon Publishing where it is today? I mean, did you know that you were going to be able to publish these? And because this seems like this is a dream to be able to get them, and to be able to get them into that, and to have them to be. And I'll just hold this up for us to be able to see, to be able to have them and to have this beautiful piece of art and to have it and then delivered straight right into my doorstep.
Hmm. Well, we did a lot of research. We thought, if we're gonna get into this, we need to get into it, in the best way possible. And we figured out that Amazon Publishing, or KDP as they call it, Kindle Publishing Company, because it was originally mainly just meant for their Kindle platform, which is the tablet platform. But
Sure.
now it goes, they can actually publish, as you saw, hardcover books or actual books. And so we decided that seemed to be the best platform for us. Uh, they have a lot of eyeballs that shop there, and we thought, yeah, that seems to be the best route to get that done. So that's why we started publishing on Amazon.
It's an amazing story. So what tell me about your own understanding of doing because these are movies. This is to me this is what a storyboards are. You were created these as movies, and you of course we know your wonderful movie show, Two Guys and a Girl Talk About Movies. It's on every week. And
Hmm.
so you come from a movie background. So do you look at it as shooting a movie, as putting the storyboards on there and going on?
Yeah, actually, I do. That's kind of how I feel about it. When I write the script, I write it thinking kind of cinematically. Like, okay, it's not just panels, as they're formerly known, oh, which is the individual blocks of art. I think of it as a shot. Like,
Yes.
okay, here's, we're doing this shot, we're doing a medium shot, we're doing a long shot, And so, yeah, I do think of it in terms of I'm making a movie, but it's paper and ink, and well, I'm doing it digitally, but uh, so that's how I
So
conceive of
you
it.
have everything on a digital pad, right? Do you have it next to you by any chance?
I don't,
Doesn't
unfortunately.
matter. Anyway, just tell us what you do. You put it on a digital pad, right? I mean,
Yes,
explain
yes.
it to me, especially someone who couldn't even imagine doing what you do.
Okay. It's a digital tablet. If anyone's familiar with iPads, things like that, except these are specialized for drawing. And I have a pen that you tap, and it mimics basically drawing with an ink pen or with a
Wow.
brush, or I could actually paint a picture if I wanted to. So it's just another tool, another arrow in my quiver,
Did
as you
it
might
take a
say.
long time for you to learn how to get there? I mean, because I think of like when I write, uh, when I handwrite, I
Hmm.
like to have a stylus that
Hmm.
has some kind of a drag to it
Hmm.
before. So when you're using a pen, this type of a digital pen, is it taking a while to get used to that to be able to know to be able to make the kinds of lines and drawings that you do?
Yes, yes. Uh, Coming from a traditional background, coming from pen and paper and ink, uh, I already had the understanding of how that works, how to draw, and so I was able to transfer that my my knowledge to this new format, to the digital format. Now, yes, there were some things that I had to relearn, so to speak, uh, adjust to the way the, the computer works, or the tablet works,
Exactly.
because it doesn't have, because you're looking at a kind of it does have a little bit of texture on the glass front,
Mhm.
but not as much as it doesn't have the kind of tooth that a piece of paper does.
Well, sure.
And so I had to compensate for that. I had to kind of relearn
So
how
that's that
to.
muscle, that eye-to-hand coordination and the muscle of being able to do the art that you do.
Right, exactly.
I
But
see.
I was able to pick it up, and I understood. Okay, this is how it wants me to do it, and so rather than trying to force it to my way of doing things, you kind of have to adjust
Sure.
to how the equipment wants you to work. But you know, eh, after a while, it becomes second nature, like anything else. I mean, I had to learn how to
Well, yeah, it
draw.
becomes second nature for you. This
Well,
is not second nature. Let's not minimize what your talent and all that you have. So, all right, so now here we are in 2025.
mhm,
We're seeing the rise of AI and how artists are using AI in this because you being a solo, you working on this by yourself. You create this, you do the drawing, you do the script, you do the drawings. Normally it would be a team of people that
right.
are doing it. So having an AI as a team member, how do you as an artist, how do these things happen like that? And how are you using AI today?
Well, I am leveraging AI as kind of an assistant.
As an
Uh,
assistant, as a digital assistant
as
that
a
that
digital,
helps you. Wonderful.
right. I don't use AI directly, any AI art directly in any of it's all drawn by me. But
Of course.
if I need some inspiration, if I need a background that I just can't get right, out of my head, uh, yeah, I'll generate an image in an AI image program and say, okay, draw me a picture of a forest, draw me a picture of a house, you know,
Sure, like we'd
and
see on one of your inside pages, right?
right, exactly.
All right, on one of
And
your
so I'll
inside
say,
pages that you would be able to, on an inside page, you be able to say, add some kind of a background or this that would just speed up your process, which would just be as if you had an assistant that you said,
right.
okay, well, here. I mean, that's what I love about Michelangelo. Michelangelo or Leonardo. That's an even
Mhm,
better example. He would go out and he'd do the cartoon. He would just do the images. Then all the people, all of his assistants would go in and they would draw and do the different fine. But this is an example, the different examples of what you could do. Would you be
mhm,
able to have like part of that background or part of
mhm.
that would be that would work? This is more in
Yeah,
her history.
yeah. Well,
This is Salvador as a child, correct?
right. This is part of her
Teresa.
her Teresa, right? Yes, this is her childhood, and we're seeing her as a young girl, and as a child, she was already interested in helping animals, and she's feeding this little stray dog here. Uh, Now all of this, the backgrounds and everything, that was just me. That was just
Right,
me
this was
figuring
before
out.
you were doing it, so now you're getting a chance to do it, so these are the kinds of things that you'll see, but one of the things that I love about what you're doing, Manny, is that we're using AI for the things that would make our art better. There's a
Right.
collaborative process here, that many people think, "Well, AI, you just throw it to it, and then you do," and that couldn't be farther from the truth.
Right. Yeah, I mean, uh, there's a temptation to just straight up say, you know what? Why should I have to draw all this when boom, I can just type in a few words and there it is. Uh, and this is a picture of her first time, the first time she transforms into La Salvadora.
Ah,
And I changed her costume up a little bit later on because it was just it was just getting too it's taking too much time to draw all the little details, and I thought I need to simplify this. But that's me.
well, yeah,
Uh,
but that's inside baseball. But
but
the, the
that's
the
inside
the main
baseball,
thing,
exactly.
because you and I both remember Superman from the original Superman to the Superman we have today.
Right.
We always evolve. The characters always evolve,
Characters
correct?
evolve, right, and so do their costumes.
And the
Uh,
drawing and the times and all that they're doing. Yeah.
yeah. So like I said, I use AI as an assistant. I use it as inspiration. I use it as a way of, well, you mentioned Michelangelo and Leonardo and all those guys. Every piece of art starts with a sketch. or a series of sketches
Ah,
before the artist puts any paint on a canvas. He goes through dozens of iterations, sometimes hundreds of iterations of the drawing to
before.
get it right. And
Sure.
that's what I use AI. I use it as, okay, what is this going to look like before I put anything down on paper? And this is the chupacabra.
I
Uh,
love that you bring that you bring in the chupacabra, and I love the chupacabra's backstory that you'll get a chance to see,
mhm,
which is really, I mean, so much. The thing about your work, Manny, is that whenever I look at a TV program or I look at a movie, I want to know how soon I go from zero to caring. And that's one of the things you make sure that this is, yes, is action that happens in it, but the core of this is you bring us in to our humanity. You bring me into, why would I care about this person? Why do I want to know more and want to know more about her story and the story of the people? They all have backstories. They're all very complicated and interesting people, and that's what I adore about your work.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's just something that it's an ability, a talent, if you will, that I've
Mhm,
honed over the
mhm.
years,
Yep,
to be able to do that, to be able to tell a good story,
yep.
and not just write it, but to bring it to life as
Yep.
images. So yeah, I'm very proud of that. And
All right, well, let's talk about the future. All
okay,
right, right now you're making number 9,
yes, I'm
right? And
issuing
so here
number
we
nine.
are, and there's a love interest, and there's all things that have developed during this. I mean, have developed during the course of this. I'm not going to give away anything that is happening, but it is certainly fascinating. And plus, you have these wonderful villain characters that come out of the mythology from the Aztec mythology, and the
Hmm.
work that comes, and plus the cartels and all the work that comes in, that is naturally a
Hmm.
part of what this wonderful world is. But as you look into the future, as we can look into the next couple of years, do you see AI giving you an opportunity to do some, let's say, bringing her to life, or to bringing some of these to life? Do you see any limitations to what can be happening?
No, no. AI, as far as creating images, creating videos, creating all those sort of things, is growing by leaps and bounds. The genie is out of that bottle, and there's no stopping it. And yeah, people are literally creating little movies. I mean, I've done a few myself, and so yeah,
And you're
it's
just starting, because this
and
is
I'm just
something, so
starting.
you can
Yeah.
see this. All right. Well, what I want to do, I want to encourage everyone, please go on the website, which will be right here on the screen. Go on the website and read issue number 0 and order this for one of your children to be able to see. They are treasures. They are treasures. It's beautiful art. It's wonderful. It's amazing storytelling. And you're going to get a chance to see, and you're going to get a chance to be part of something early. Haven't you always wanted to be one of the people who goes, "Ooh, I would wish I would have been there at the beginning of that"? Well, you are. This is the beginning of this amazing character and this amazing art and this amazing artist, a dear friend of mine whom I love and cherish all my time with you, Manny. I'm so proud. I am, because you inspire me every day. You inspire me to continue to know that I can look inside myself and bring my artistic space to this, because you walk that walk. You do it every single day. And I'm so proud, and I'm proud to know you. And I encourage everyone to take a look at La Salvadora. You will be happy that you did.
Well, thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. And I just want to add, this is not just for children.
No, no,
This is
no.
for people of all ages.
Believe me, I'm 77 and I can't wait each time for the next issue and how they're going. And so there is no problem with that. It is for people of all ages. So this is just it allows you to know, and you will be happy that you did. All right, thank you everyone for this special edition of Reasonably Spontaneous Conversations. Special because I have my dear friend Manny Zamora, our wonderful director and producer, Renee Yaworski, who was in the background and did the wonderful job on bringing all of our stuff up. And so we're so happy to be able to know that you were here today, and we'll see everybody next time.